So I finished The Wizard of Oz 75th anniversary book. I do highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. Oh, sorry, Raven. Gorgeous. It's filled with full color pictures. All kinds of interesting facts, mostly about the movie. They don't delve into the book too much. It's all about the movie, and of course it does have memorabilia and all that stuff. And it's I found it very interesting because I know the authors were clearly trying to make it sound very almost idyllic as far as the movie and all that. But it does seem that Judy Garland had a good time on set. She even had a crush on the director. Maybe she was given diet pills and all that stuff, but that sounds like something Hollywood does in general with like all their actors and actresses. So I'm not. It sounds like in future videos, according to all of her kids, that she did have a very good time on set, and it wasn't like horrific, and she wasn't lonely the whole time, and that she looked back on it very fondly. So I guess to dispel some of the rumors that were going around, and it's also goes into like how the costumes are made and stuff. It's a fascinating book. It's gorgeous. Very happy I have it. So I just finished The Resurrectionist by E.B. Hulseth. It's a fictional biography of the lost work of Dr. Spencer Black. Also includes journal entries from both him and his brother, and critiques of the titular doctor here. And I love this book. It's beautifully illustrated, and it is brilliantly done. One of my favorite books is Frankenstein, and I also love the old fictional Victorian spooky stories. Dracula, Dr. Moreau, Jekyll and Hyde, and the Invisible Man. These were all like crazy doctors and scientists, and they all went mad with their inventions, and this is right along the same vein. So I do highly recommend it. I also want to talk about how this is specifically using corpses and living beings to try to make fictional mythological creatures. Except the doctor thinks they're not like myths or fiction. He thinks they're real, and we've forgotten about them. So he makes them using like dogs and horses and cadavers and stuff, and it's fascinating, and it's interesting because I remember when I was very young and I was watching the History Channel like someone in grade school does, and I remember there was a documentary and it featured this woman. I don't remember her name. I don't know her exact position. I think she was an anthropologist or something. And she was in her 50s, so I doubt she's still alive now. But she must have been in her 50s at least, because she had either white hair or very light blonde hair. She had glasses. It was cut short. And I think she had like a salmon-colored sweater on. I remember her very, very vividly. And she talked about how everyone thinks she's crazy because she mentions that all these ancient civilizations, like ancient Rome and ancient Greece and all them, that they must have come up with those beings, all the mythological beings, the centaurs, the, Cyclops, and all of them. They must have come up with them because they found dinosaur bones, and a way to explain that, how they kept finding these bones, was they had all these mythical monsters. And I was like, that's fascinating. And I can't tell if that's just a thing people just know now, because it's never like specifically mentioned. Or if it's like, oh yeah, that's totally, of course, why else would they have come up with, the Cyclops and gods and all this stuff if they hadn't have come up with these bones? So I thought that was fascinating. And then also there's that crazy Russian doctor that did the experiment with the two-headed dog that didn't live for very long. This is that kind of guy. So I loved it. Very flawed protagonist, if you will. And yeah, it's lovely. I've had my eye on it forever. Glad I finally got it. Highly recommend it if you like Frankenstein or Dr. Moreau or anything like that. This is right up your alley. So this is another book that I finished. It's called Remembering the Pennsylvania Railroad by Kenneth C. Springerth. And it's packed to the brim with beautiful photographs. Let me get my bookmark out of here. And it's also filled with like minute details on each of the trains pictured, which is fascinating, even if it more or less went over my head. It goes over like who built each one and where it came from, and if it's scrapped now or if it's in a museum somewhere. And it was I actually really enjoyed reading it. I actually kind of look at trains like they symbolize comfortable adventure in a way, especially these old trains. They're so gosh darn beautiful. But this was basically all about the engines for these bad boys, which is fine. It's that's the main look of the train anyway. But yeah, it's yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know who I'd recommend it to. Maybe someone who's really into trains. The best part of the book are the pictures, though. They are gorgeous. Only I could do this one-handed. Yeah, it's beautiful. Most of the pictures were taken by the author, so he happened to nab photos of them before they were retired, or he got old-timey pictures. And yeah, it's a beautiful book, and it smells amazing because it has glossy pages rather. And yeah, I was very happy to have finished that one. So this is Crimson Peak, The Art of Darkness. I finally read through this book. It's beautiful, as nearly all of Guillermo del Toro's books on his movies are. And I do believe I would love everything about this movie if I'd actually watched it. I have it, and I haven't watched the movie. But it sounds like it's right up my alley. I love gothic horror romance books and all that stuff. And then it's also Tom Hiddleston, which is a good time. And so, yeah, can't wait to watch that movie. Maybe this year we'll will be the year that I finally watched that movie. But I highly recommend this if you're a Guillermo del Toro fan. Totally get this book. It's gorgeous, and it supports the movie because that didn't really do as well as they were hoping it would. But anyway, so this is the Vault of Frankenstein. 200 years of the world's most famous monster, and Frankenstein's one of my favorite books of all time, and so it was fascinating to read this, and all the different options. There had been like all the theatrical releases of Frankenstein on the stage and on screen. There was an old movie from like 1910 I didn't know about, and how Dracula, the movie, plays into the history of the Frankenstein monster and all his makeup and quirks. I think the only thing they may have gotten wrong was that they said Dr. Polidori was Lord Byron's lover, which, I mean, it is Lord Byron, so who knows, but I don't think that was their relationship. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's filled with great pictures. Highly recommend it. I love me some picture books. This was great. So this is my copy of The Art and Making of Penny Dreadful, which is perfect for this season, and I love the show, although I technically never finished watching it. Not technically, I didn't finish watching it, but it's a beautiful book. If you like the show, I highly recommend getting it. It was very interesting. I learned quite a lot about the show and how it was made. They did so many practical effects, which I think is so much better than the CGI, although the CGI did help with a lot of their stuff too. And I learned quite a bit about the Victorian period too, like those how they used to taxidermy animals in like fairy tale shapes. I found that fascinating. There's like little things throughout that I found just like fascinating little snippets into the time period. And then of course the show itself is amazing. It has all my favorite monsters and people in it. So that was fun. Yeah, highly recommend it. Also finished The Phantom of the Opera, the graphic novel, the one that has nothing to do with Andrew Lloyd Webber's version, because of course he has a version. And I thought it was very good. It's obviously based on the novel, so it has all that stuff. I did like seeing the letters being written out, and a slightly different version of Eric the Phantom instead of what's usually been shown. But I have to say, there's parts of the illustration that I love, and then there's parts, like I thought the chandelier was amazing, the letters always looked so good. But some of the other details I wasn't crazy about, like, I don't know, it's hit or miss a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I think he did, like all the faces look right for what was going on at the time in the story, but I don't know, I'm not sure if I liked what they looked like. I'm glad they went back to her being blonde, because that's what she actually was in the original story. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I did enjoy it. It's fun. You know, there's obviously some the first Phantom of the Opera movie. There's some inspiration taken from that because of his costume for the masquerade ball at Halloween. Looks quite a lot like it. Let me see. I still have no idea what a domino is. Is it the suit? Oops. Dang it. Anyway, it looks almost exactly like the outfit in there, with Lon Chaney in it. And yeah, so I liked it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, but yeah, it's interesting. Add it to my collection. So I'm gonna add. Make sure I got everything written down. I'm in the middle of that one right now. Resurrectionist, Crimson Peak, Vault of Frankenstein, Remembering the Pennsylvania Railroad, and The Art and Making of Penny Dreadful. So, I love that picture. So that's basically it. I didn't have to write anything down. Technically the month isn't over yet, so I could squeeze a book in here or there before the month is over. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.